Hey, good evening, John again. I'm playing Immaculate Grid, going for low time, low rarity score, and I'm playing grid number 477, and that is the number of career home runs in the career of Hall of Famer Adrian Beltre. As of yesterday, he's officially inducted into the Hall of Fame. So if I see one of his categories, I will try to use it for grid number 477. Let's share the screen. Let's roll right into it. This would have been yesterday's grid 477. Looks like this was the rarity round, although I wasn't too rare on a few choices. Let's see if we can do better today, but this will be the time round. So hit refresh, hit and go. All right, I don't see Beltray. All right, let's get Kruk. Yep. What do we think of Hunter Pence? He hits both those teams. Grab Roy Halladay for a 20-win season. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna go Kevin Mitchell for the Padres and Mets. 5%. Cool. Let's see here. But Roger Cedeno. Let's see how rare that is actually. That was a little too rare for what I was doing. Dwight Gooden. Show me some love, Dwight. 29%. Let's get Trevor Hoffman there. Feeling like I'm in a closer mood here. So Billy Wagner. Honus Wagner would have been bad. Right there. And then Bob Gibson should work for 20 wins, less than 3 ERA. And there we go. 155 rarity, just under a minute. Mets 20-win season is going to be rare. You got Gooden, get Ari Dickey, Tom Seaver, I believe Jerry Koosman. I'm not sure on John Matlock. In fact, I think not. Frank Viola will work. Maybe that's who I go with, actually, is Frank Viola. So I think I've got 5 that I just listed. We'll see if I can get the 6th. Maybe that's evidence that that should be the person I go with. But yeah, chances are if you win 20 games for the Mets, it seems like you become a Cy Young winner. All right. Oh, David Cohn, who is a Cy Young winner, but not for the Mets, 1988. So I think I got all 6. I think Viola is the one I'll go with. So we'll stop share and reshare. And this time we'll show the I guess this will be the timed version from yesterday. Only did a little bit better on the rarity version in a couple instances. All right, hit refresh. And there's grid 477. So I think this will be the worst one. So let's just get it on there. Frank Viola, 1990, I believe the year was. Takes 3%. That might be, so there's only 6 choices. That's probably the best. Let's see, where to now? What do we think of Bud Chandler, I believe 1943. All right, that's a nice low percentage. Mets and Astros. We'll get legacy Frank Thomas on there. That's a nice low percentage. The Padres and Mets also working for Astros, but I'm thinking we could get Randy Myers, but Randy Myers is always surprisingly high that was me pointing up. He's surprisingly high percentage for the Padres given the month he played there. Another choice I could go with would be Derek Bell. Adrian Gonzalez will work. Mike Cameron will work. The Henderson will work. Derek Bell is where I'm leaning. 0.3, pretty good. Let's see, Padres, and he hits a lot of teams for such a short career. He hits the Blue Jays because I know his car got like pretend stolen during a game, or they were pretending to auction. They were going to auction it off. I know that clip, and I know he played for the Padres. I think in the middle. I think then Astros, Pirates in there, and then Mets. I want to say some combination of all that. Um, Phillies, Astros. What do you think of Tommy Green? He only plays a few starts for the Astros. Um, let's see, for less than a 3 ERA, I believe Ken Giles will work. Certainly your Verlander, Cole, Nolan Ryan will work. Mike Scott will work. J.R. Richard works. Um, who else? I'm not sure. Valone plays for both these teams. I don't know if he goes sub 3 on the ERA. Um, Daryl Kyle will work. 1997 season. Mike Hampton, 1999 season will work. Um, I believe there's a Doug Jones relief season in there that'll work for the Astros. Why don't I use that? Get the former Brewer closer in there for .1. And then for the Padres, we knew Trevor Hoffman was going to be high. I think Heath Bell also works. I think Kirby Yates works. Certainly Josh Hader will work. Jake Peavy works. Um, Randy Jones works. I think Gossage works. Gaylord Perry works for his Cy Young season. Mark Davis works for his Cy Young season. I don't know if Ed Whitson worked. I think he was in the low threes when he was in San Diego, at least. Kevin Brown for his 1 year would work. So that's a number of seasons. I'm trying. There was someone in the early. I want to say it's like a Dave Smith, like a really generic name. I'm trying to remember. He played for either the Padres or the Astros, and now I'm trying to pin where he played. But he had a really good season with a losing record. Um, in like 1971 or something. I'm not coming up with that one. Um, Mark Davis won the Cy Young, so maybe that's taking that one out of contention a little bit. Kirby Yates was a few years ago. I think Kimbrel might work. Maybe that was a down year for him. Heath Bell definitely works. I feel very confident in Heath Bell. And that might be what we go with. Ooh, that was too high. He gets an action shot. I like it when occasionally you see an action shot. Palmero gets an action shot. It's a few others. It's it's fun to see. But too high a percentage. I should have come up with someone better. Maybe Kirby Yates would have been better. All right, let's see. 20-win season. John Denny does not work, I don't think. I think he wins 19 in his Cy Young season of 1983. Cliff Lee also doesn't work for the Phillies. He works for Cleveland. Um, we did Halliday. I'm not sure. I don't think Aaron Nola works either, nor Zach Wheeler, and they're really good seasons. So there's a lot of people who don't work. I don't think Schilling ever does it. For the Phillies, he did it with the Diamondbacks and Red Sox. Steve Carlton did it a number of times. Robin Roberts did it a number of times. Grover Alexander did it a number of times. Um, those all are Hall of Famers that don't strike me like they'd be particularly rare. I'm trying to think if there's anyone I should be thinking of from like who was the Phillies number 2 starter in 1980. Um, but no one's coming to mind. No one's coming to mind is in like a John Lieber-esque random 20-win season in the early 2000s. You're not getting any Kevin Millwood or Randy Wolf type love. Um, Roberts did a whole bunch of times and Carlton did a whole bunch of times. I'm sure Cleveland did a bunch of times, but it was earlier. So maybe that's an argument to use him. And I'm sure there's people I just don't know from the probably the first half of the 20th century. Um, and I'm not thinking of anyone too obvious, so I'm gonna go Grover Alexander. Ah, for a 5 spot, that's a little bit higher than you like to see. I'll survey. I'll see if there was anyone that I knew about that I should have gotten. Um, but it's all right. Let's see here. Let's close out on a strong note. Padres, Phillies. Obviously, don't want to use Kruk. Randy Reddy, which is a great baseball name, which my dad would always mention whenever I overthrew him when we were playing catch, because Reddy did that in a game once, and I think he extended it way into extra innings. So that's a soft spot in my heart for Randy Reddy. I don't think Adrian Beltre is going to come back from retirement and play for both of these teams, so I won't try to do that. But wouldn't it be something if he did? Uh, I don't think this is a Michael Jackson combo. Is this a maybe a Quantrill? It always seems to me that I've got Quantrill on either the Phillies or I've done it before, and I can't remember if the Phillies or the Mariners, but he didn't play for one of those teams, which is a weird way to remember something. But you mess up enough of these immaculate grids and you remember stuff. Um, let's see. This is just going through some of our speedsters. This is not a Lofton combo, not a Vince Coleman combo. It's not a Julio Franco combo. Um, Henderson plays for the Padres, but not the Phillies. Lofton plays for the Phillies, but not the Padres. Otis Nixon never plays for either team. Tim Raines never plays for either team. Vince Coleman never plays for either team. Um, that was a nice tour of people who don't work. I'm going with Randy Reddy, hopefully for, I think he'll be a percent. Just because there's not that many choices, I don't think. 2%. All right, so I take a rarity of 14. 27 options here. Henderson is the highest for the Mets and Phillies. Um, Chris Short, 1960. Man, it's so rare. I was right in a sense. Like I was thinking of the second half of the 20th century. It's just Steve Carlton and Robin Roberts and this guy Chris Short once in 1966. And then from Robin Roberts, actually, I don't feel so bad because from Robin Roberts, you go all the way back to Grover Alexander. You get an Epa Rixey season in there. I did not know that. I thought Rixey mainly played for the Reds. Kid Gleason will work. I didn't have that in my register. I think Grover Alexander was the best I was going to do on this. So I don't feel too bad. There's just not been that many. There's been like one in the last 40 years, and it was Roy Halladay. So all right. Well, I will take my 14 rarity score and study up a little bit on the career of one Mr. Chris Short. Thank you so much for playing, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Peace.